What if the reason you're stuck isn't because you don't have enough faith? What if you're stuck because you're waiting for fear to disappear first? Listen, can we be honest? Some of us have made a deal with ourselves. I'll do it when I'm not scared. I'll start when I'm confident. I'll trust God when I have more certainty. I'll move when I know it will work. But what if that day never comes? Because tomorrow is not promised. What if faith was never meant to wait for certainty? What if faith was always meant to move in the presence of uncertainty? Today, we're exposing the lie that fear means stop, and we're replacing it with the truth that faith means trust. What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl SHAKERA, and welcome back to Identify You Podcast, where we heal, grow, and become her. Listen, I want you to think about all the major moments in your life, the moments that changed you, the moments that stretched you, the moments that completely transformed you. I bet fear was present in almost every one of them. Fear before the interview, fear before the big move, fear before the relationship, fear before the healing journey. Fear before the leap of faith. Fear before the conversation. Fear before you started the business. Fear before obedience. Fear is often present when we're standing at the edge of growth. And that's something God had to teach me. Because there was a time when I thought fear meant I wasn't ready yet. I thought fear meant I needed more preparation, more confirmation, more certainty, more signs, more clarity. But eventually, I realized something. If I waited until I felt completely fearless, I would have missed some of the biggest blessings of my life. After becoming a widow, I was terrified. And I don't think we talk about that enough. Maybe some of y'all think I talk about it too much, but that's okay. People see the hill version of me, the coach version of me, the podcast version, the faith filled, always walk by faith. But there was a woman sitting in grief wondering, oh God, how are we going to do this? How are we going to raise these children? How am I going to survive? How am I going to keep moving forward? How am I to trust God when my world just fell apart? Fear was very present, but so was God. And maybe that's what you need to hear today. Fear may be present, but so is God. Fear may be talking, but God is speaking. Fear may be loud, but God is faithful. 2 Timothy 1:7 tells us, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. Let's pause right there. Because Paul isn't saying believers will never feel afraid. He's saying fear isn't your identity. Fear isn't your inheritance. Fear isn't your assignment. Power is, love is, a sound mind is. And that's important because fear loves to lie. Fear says, what if you fail? But faith says, what if God provides? Fear says, what if nobody supports you? Faith says, what if God sends the right people? Fear says, what if you aren't enough? But faith says, God is enough. Fear says, what if it doesn't work? How many of y'all have heard that one before? But what do you think faith says? What if it does? And here's what I learned. You don't overcome fear by arguing with it. You overcome fear by obeying God. Every act of obedience weakens fear's grip. Every step of faith reminds fear who is really in charge. Every time you trust God, fear loses a little bit more power. Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Notice faith isn't confidence because we can see. It's confidence despite what we can't see. Faith says, I don't know exactly how, but I know who. I don't know exactly when, but I know God. I don't know exactly what comes next, but I trust the one leading me. And listen, that's where freedom begins. Not when fear disappears, but when faith becomes louder. Open your Broken to Whole workbook. This week's reflection asks, when was a time you felt fearful but overcame it anyway? Think about it. I know you got a couple of them. Write it down. Because your past victories are evidence of God's faithfulness. Remember the thing you thought you couldn't survive? You survived. Remember the season you thought would break you? Baby, you still here. Remember the obstacle that felt impossible? God brought you through. That testimony matters. Because the same God who carried you then is carrying you right now. This week's healing challenge is simple. Stop waiting to feel fearless. Take one faith-filled step. Just one, not 10, not the whole staircase. One step. Send an email. Start the project. Set the boundary. Apply for the opportunity. Have the hard conversation. Trust God enough to move. Because you got this. Now it's time to affirm yourself, girl. Repeat after me. I am stronger than my fear. God has given me power, love, and a sound mind. Faith is leading my life. I trust God with my future. I can do hard things with God. Friend, the goal was never to become fearless. The goal was always to become faithful. Fear may still knock on the door, but faith gets to answer. And when faith answers, your life changes completely. If this episode blessed you, subscribe to I Am SHAKERA TV. Share it with another woman. Together, we're healing one letter at a time from fear to faith. As always, make sure you walk by faith and slay, plus pray each and every day because God, He will make a way. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. I pray that it blessed you. And if it did, would you take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to I Am SHAKERA TV on YouTube for more transformative content? Please don't forget to share this message with someone who needs it. And as always, make sure you walk by faith and slay, plus pray each and every day because God, He will make a way. I'll see you for another episode on Wednesday.